How to build an unshakable mind. You do not control what life will do to you, but you can control who you choose to be when it tries to knock you down. That is what separates the people who give up from those who keep moving forward, even when everything seems to be against them. The Stoics discovered a truth that has endured for centuries. It is not the size of the challenge that determines your destiny. It is the strength of mind you bring to facing it. Because hardships will come. People will leave. Plans will fail. The unexpected will happen. That is part of life. The question was never whether you will face storms. The real question is, when they arrive, will you be carried away by the wind, or will you remain standing? An unshakable mindset is not built on easy days. It is forged precisely in the moments when giving up would be the easiest choice. Every hardship is an opportunity to prove to yourself that your circumstances do not have the authority to decide who you will become. That is how ordinary men endured loss, failure, wars, and challenges that seemed impossible, not because they never felt fear, but because they learned that fear did not have to be in charge of their decisions. And you can begin building that same strength today. In this video, you will discover the 7 most powerful Stoic principles for developing a mind that remains steady when everything around it loses its balance. Not to eliminate the obstacles in your life, but to become greater than any obstacle. Because there is a place within you where fear does not rule, pressure does not control, and uncertainty does not prevail. The more you strengthen that place, the less power the world has to shake your peace. Remember this sentence: an unshakable mind is not one that never falls. It is one that always rises stronger than before. If today you choose to take control of your own mind, write just one sentence in the comments: "Nothing controls me," because the wind may bend the branches of a tree, but it will never bring down the one that has grown deep roots. Let's begin. 1. Build unshakable self-confidence. Without confidence in your own resources, in your intelligence, in your energy, no one achieves the success they aspire to. Thomas Atkinson said that, and he was right. Because an unbreakable mind is not built on doubt. It is built on something far more solid, the quiet certainty that you are capable, not of being perfect, but of being real, present and steady in the face of whatever life asks of you. Confidence is not something you say, it is what you do. It is the choice you make when no one is watching. It is how you carry yourself in the world. In Stoicism, confidence means understanding and accepting your inner worth, with your strengths, your flaws, and your limitations. It does not require perfection, but a genuine commitment to who you truly are. And it is precisely that commitment that separates those who merely withstand pressure from those who become, in fact, unbreakable. Picture a leader walking into a room. They do not say a word. They do not have to. Their posture already speaks. Their eyes already speak. Every step already says, "I know who I am." Before they utter a single word, they have already earned respect. And here is the most important point. This kind of confidence is not reserved for a select few. It is within reach for all of us, including you. Cultivating that inner strength is a choice. You simply have to decide to look within, discover your true worth, and have the discipline not to look away. True confidence is not arrogance, nor is it the need to feel superior to others. It is knowing, with calm assurance, that you are enough exactly as you are. It is recognizing your worth and your abilities without depending on other people's opinions. For the Stoics, confidence is built from the inside out. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." That reminds us that confidence comes from having control over our own actions and reactions, not from other people's judgments, nor from external approval. And it is precisely that inner control that no circumstance can ever shake. because it belongs to you alone. One essential step towards strengthening that confidence is practicing mindful presence. When you are fully present in a conversation or a situation, you communicate respect, confidence, and self-assurance. Standing tall, making eye contact, and giving your full attention to the present moment reveals a great deal about who you are. That genuine connection, that presence, communicates your value naturally, without effort, without performance. When you realize that real confidence comes from strengthening your own values, you let go of the need to prove anything to anyone. You simply become yourself, with calmness and authenticity. And remember, confidence is quiet. You do not need to talk about your accomplishments, how much money you make, or show off. Be present, be authentic, and protect your inner peace. Those who need a stage have not yet discovered the strength they already carry within themselves. By bringing Stoic wisdom into your life, you go beyond simply believing in your potential. You begin to live it and express it in every aspect of your life. Acting with confidence means realizing that the power to stand out and live authentically is already within you, waiting only to be expressed. As Marcus Aurelius said, "Look within. Within is the fountain of good, and it will ever bubble up if you will ever dig." And this is exactly where the first pillar of an unbreakable mind is born. Because before you can face the chaos of the outside world, before you can withstand the storms that life brings, you must win the quietest battle of all, the doubt about your own worth. And that is a battle you can win. An unshakable mindset is not built with shields against the world, but with deep roots within yourself. And confidence is exactly that, the root. When it is strong, everything you build upon it, discipline, purpose, resilience, stands firm, even when the first tremor comes. That is why this is a non-negotiable principle, not as an abstract idea to admire from a distance, but as a daily practice, a choice renewed every morning to look within, recognize your strength, and act from that place, not from anyone else's approval. Because in the end, an unbreakable mind is not one that never doubts. It is one that, even while doubting, already knows where to find the answer. And the answer has always been within you. 2. Order begins at home. Your home is more than just the place where you live. It is the foundation from which you face the world. Think about every great builder, every great strategist, every person who has accomplished something difficult. Before moving forward into the world, they needed a solid place to return to, a place that belonged to them, a place where things made sense, where they knew where everything was, where they were in control. Your home is that place, and when it is in order, something inside you becomes steady as well. But when you wake up and step into chaos, when you have to search for what matters in the middle of the mess, when every corner demands your attention at the same time, a silent message begins to settle into your mind. Things are out of my control. And that feeling does not stay in your living room. It follows you to work, into your conversations, into your decisions. You leave home already feeling one step behind. But the opposite is where the real power lies. When you organize your space, you send your own mind a different message. I am capable of taking care of what is mine. I am in control of my world, and that is one of the most empowering feelings there is, the feeling that you can handle whatever comes your way. Psychologist Jordan Peterson puts it simply: clean your room before you try to change the world. At first glance, it sounds like advice about cleaning, but it goes much deeper than that. It is about gaining control over the smallest territory you have before trying to conquer bigger ones. It is about proving to yourself through one concrete daily action that you are someone who gets things done. Every organized drawer is a small victory that builds a much greater certainty. I am someone who solves problems, When you live in a cluttered environment, part of your mind stays on constant alert, dealing with a space that never feels settled. When you organize that space, you free up that mental energy. It is as if you are giving your mind back the peace that comes from knowing your foundation is secure. And that foundation never supports only you. It supports everyone who shares that space with you. A well-cared-for home communicates, without saying a single word, that this is a safe place, a place where people can rest, where life flows instead of feeling stuck. You are not just organizing your belongings. You are building the solid ground on which you and the people you love walk every single day. Chaos, on the other hand, comes with a silent cost that few people notice: time. How many minutes have you lost looking for your keys, your wallet, or an important document in the middle of the clutter? That time is not just lost. It is stolen from the things that truly matter. Having a designated place for everything gives those minutes back to you and with them, the feeling of ease that comes from having your life under control. And the best part is that this confidence does not come from one grand gesture. It comes from small actions, repeated every single day. You do not have to organize your entire home today. You only have to reclaim one small area, 15 minutes, one small space, one drawer, one shelf, one section of your desk. Because it is not the perfectly organized room that transforms you, it is the daily proof that you are capable of bringing order to your world, one piece at a time. And whenever something can be done in 2 minutes, do it now. Put away what is out of place, wash the glass, fold the piece of clothing. Every time you do that, you're telling yourself that you do not put things off, that you do not let things pile up, that you can handle whatever comes your way. These are small actions, but this is how you build the identity of someone who is in control of their own life. Your home should be a refuge, not a source of stress. Order is not about appearances. It is about building the secure foundation from which you face everything else. When your foundation is solid, you move through the world with greater courage, because you know you have a place to return to, and you know you are capable of taking care of what is yours. If you want a strong mind, start by strengthening the ground on which it lives. 3. Patience will change your life. There is a huge difference between the person who falls apart over every delay and the person who stays steady when everything around them is moving at full speed. One lives as a prisoner of the world. The other is the master of themselves, and what separates the two has a name: patience. Not the passive kind of patience that simply puts up with things in silence, but the patience of someone who is unshakable, someone who doesn't lose control, doesn't react on impulse, and doesn't allow themselves to be swept away by other people's urgency. That is a non-negotiable principle of a strong mind, and the good news is that it can be built, even in you. Aristotle already understood the price of this virtue. Patience is bitter, but its fruit is sweet. Almost everyone gives up during the bitter part before ever reaching the fruit. That is exactly why so few people become unshakable. It is not a lack of ability, it is a lack of endurance through the difficult part. But those who endure harvest what the impatient never reach: clarity, respect, and a level of self-mastery that no one can take away. Look around. We live in a world addicted to speed, where rushing has become the default state, and impatience has become an automatic reflex. And it is precisely in that environment that patience has become a rare advantage. While most people lose their balance at the smallest obstacle, those who learn to act at the right time become immovable, the kind of person nothing can shake. Because patience at its core is power. Power over your own reactions. It is the courage not to explode, not to make decisions in the heat of the moment, to wait with confidence while everyone else panics. That changes the way the world sees you and builds a quiet authority that commands respect without ever having to raise its voice. Think about bamboo. For years, it grows almost unnoticed, while its roots spread deeper and become stronger. It looks as though nothing is happening. But it is in the silence that its foundation is built, and when the time comes, it shoots upward, reaching remarkable heights in a very short time. Do you know why it doesn't fall over with the first strong wind? Because of the roots it built while it was waiting. Patience does the same thing in you. It is the invisible root that keeps you standing when everything tries to knock you down. And this is where patience stops being about waiting and becomes courage. Seneca said, "Patience is the courage of virtue," and that becomes obvious when you realize what it demands. While most people chase immediate results, it takes courage to trust the process and respect the timing of life. That same courage gives you the power to observe with clarity and respond with wisdom, instead of reacting on impulse and dealing with consequences that could have been avoided. And the best part is this: it can be trained, just like any muscle. Start small. The next time impatience rises, when someone gets on your nerves or anxiety starts building while you're waiting for an answer, stop and ask yourself, is this worth my peace? Most of the time, it isn't. And every time you choose peace instead of reacting, you are not holding everything in. You are becoming stronger. You are proving to yourself that you are the one in control, not your impulses. Those moments are not tests, they are training. Every single one makes you a little more unshakable, because patience is not about waiting, it is about who you become while you wait. It allows you to see the bigger picture with clarity, make wiser decisions, and build deeper relationships. Those who react on impulse, on the other hand, create problems they could have avoided and hand their peace over to anyone who happens to push their buttons. True patience is a quiet, steady strength that shows up in every action you take. And it asks only one thing of you: respect each stage of the process. Epictetus explained this with a simple image. If you want a fig right now, it takes time. First, the tree blossoms, then it produces the fruit, and only then does the fruit ripen. Nothing truly great is created overnight, he taught. Your strength is no different. It is built one layer at a time, and trusting that process is what keeps you standing firm when the fruit has not arrived yet. So over the next few days, treat this like real training. Practice patience on purpose. Notice how you stop being dragged around by the world's constant rush and begin moving at your own pace. Notice how other people start to see you differently, and most importantly, notice how you begin to feel calm, steady, and in control, because in the end, patience is one of the pillars of someone who refuses to be shaken. It is proof that you have stopped reacting to the world and started leading yourself. And a person who masters their own time masters far more than they realize. 4. Stop following your feelings. Follow your standards. There is a reason why some people seem unshakable, while others spend their lives riding an emotional roller coaster. Some are ruled by their feelings, while others are guided by their standards. Feelings are unstable. They change with exhaustion, with hunger, with one careless comment, with the mood of the day. If you allow your feelings in the moment to decide your actions, you hand over control of your life to something that changes by the hour. Standards are different. A standard is the rule you have established for the person you choose to be, and it remains steady even when your emotions are screaming the opposite. That is the non-negotiable principle of someone who truly owns themselves. In life's defining moments, the standard speaks louder than the feeling, because real power has never been about controlling the world around you. It is about mastering yourself with courage and determination. That self-mastery is the quiet key to truly leading your own life, the foundation of a steady presence and a confidence that cannot be shaken by whatever is happening around you. Let me give you a practical example. Picture yourself in a meeting. A co-worker is talking about an important project, And inside, you feel the urge to interrupt, to prove that you understand, that you might even know more. Those are your feelings trying to take control. But you have a standard. I listen before I speak. So you take a deep breath and listen carefully. It seems like a small thing, but it isn't. In that moment, you projected quiet authority without saying a single word, and you earned a level of respect that no interruption could ever buy. The difference was not luck. It was your standard defeating your impulse, and that is what separates those who inspire from those who simply react. Controlling your emotions is not about suppressing what you feel. It is about refusing to let what you feel hijack who you are. The person who masters this projects genuine inner strength. Even when everything seems to be falling apart, they remain calm and clear-headed. And there is no greater magnet for respect and trust than someone who stays steady while everyone else is losing their composure. It is no coincidence that Proverbs says, "Whoever rules their own spirit is greater than the one who conquers armies." Think about the weight of that. You can lead 1,000 people and still be a slave to your own temper. The power that truly matters, the one no one can ever take from you, is the power you have over yourself. And it doesn't just change the way people see you, it changes your entire life, bringing balance, peace, and a kind of respect that lasts. Now imagine what you could achieve if, in every difficult situation, you chose your standard instead of your impulse. If calm became your automatic response instead of an outburst. Yes, that is difficult, especially at the beginning. But the impact is profound, both on you and on everyone who watches the way you carry yourself. The Stoics understood this, which is why they treated self-control as a daily practice, not as something people are simply born with. And every practice starts small. Take a breath before you react. Think about the consequences before you decide. Repeat that over and over, and something remarkable happens. What once required effort becomes a habit, and what becomes a habit eventually becomes character. You stop trying to control yourself and simply become someone who is difficult to shake. So over the next few days, treat this as training. In every ordinary situation, choose your standard instead of your feelings. Notice how the world begins to change before your eyes, and how people start seeing you differently. Every moment of self-control is living proof of your strength. Because in the end, the most impressive power is not the power you have over other people. It is the power you have over yourself. And the person who masters their feelings through their standards can no longer be shaken by anything. 5. Do hard things on purpose. In ancient Rome, while the sons of wealthy families were carried through the streets in luxurious litters and shielded from every discomfort, a young man named Cato chose the opposite path. He walked under the blazing sun and through freezing rain. He wore simple clothes when he could have worn the finest garments. He ate the most basic food, even though he could afford extravagant feasts. People thought it was strange. Why would someone choose hardship when comfort was available? Because he had discovered a truth that most people spend their entire lives without understanding. He was training himself so that one day nothing could break him. While everyone else grew accustomed to comfort and became fragile, he deliberately made himself stronger. And when real hardship finally came, he had already faced the worst 1,000 times in both his mind and his body. Nothing could shake him because he had chosen hardship before hardship chose him. This is the truth no one wants to hear. Comfort feels good, but it is also what slowly makes you weak. Every time you run away from something difficult, you think you're protecting yourself. But what you're really doing is training yourself to become fragile. And fragile people are shaken by everything: criticism, unexpected setbacks, a bad day. But the person who deliberately seeks out challenges builds a kind of resilience that comfort could never provide. Sailors have a saying that captures this better than any theory ever could: A sailor earns his reputation in strong winds and raging storms, never in a calm harbor. Think about that. A ship at anchor is safe, protected, motionless, but that is not what it was built for. It only discovers what it is truly capable of when it faces rough seas, when the wind tests every plank, and it keeps moving forward. And a sailor only becomes great because he made it through the very storms that could have sunk him. You are that ship. And every single day you choose between two paths, staying anchored, slowly rusting in the harbor of your comfort zone, or setting sail and discovering what you're really made of. A life spent only in calm waters produces no strength at all. It produces that quiet kind of fragility that most people mistake for living well, until the first real storm arrives and tears everything apart. And pay attention to what happens inside you every time a challenge appears. A voice rises telling you to stop, to put it off until later, to take the easy way out. That voice is not your ally. It's the harbor calling you back, trying to keep you small, still, and safe. And here's the truth that changes everything. Every time you obey that voice, it grows stronger and you grow weaker. But every time you set sail, while that voice is still shouting inside you, you grow stronger and it grows weaker. That battle takes place every single day, and whoever wins that battle day after day determines the person they will become. The most liberating part is that you don't have to wait for a major tragedy to begin. You can raise the anchor right now through small decisions. The cold shower you've been avoiding, the alarm clock asking for 5 more minutes but you get up anyway, the difficult conversation you've been putting off for weeks, the task you've been procrastinating on every single day. None of these things seem significant on its own, but each one is training, each one is a headwind you choose to sail into. And no one has to see it for it to make you stronger on the inside. Because there is an ancient and powerful principle at work here. It is far better to face hardship for the first time in training than in the middle of the voyage. The sailor who learned to handle the sails in lighter winds does not panic when the storm arrives, because he already knows what to do with steady hands. Life will bring storms, that much is certain. The only question that truly matters is whether those storms will find you prepared or completely unprepared. So, begin today. Not tomorrow, not next Monday, not when the timing feels right. Today. The next time you have the chance to choose the easy path, stop for a moment and ask yourself, will this make me stronger or will it make me softer? Then choose the harder path, on purpose, knowing that every one of those choices is another brick in the foundation of the unshakable person you are becoming. Because life is not going to get easier, and the truth is you shouldn't even want it to. What you should want is to become stronger than whatever life puts in front of you. The sea will never calm itself for your sake, but you can become the kind of sailor no storm can intimidate. And the day you look back and realize that the things which once knocked you down now barely make you stumble, you will finally understand. Life did not become easier. You became unshakable. And it all began the day you decided to do hard things on purpose. 6. Build your identity. Your worth comes from within. Stop for a moment and answer honestly, where does your worth come from? If the answer is out there, from the compliments you receive, from other people's approval, from how much others admire you, then your worth is not truly yours. It is borrowed, and anything that is borrowed can one day be taken away. There is no strength in depending on other people's admiration. Your worth, your self-confidence, and your sense of self-worth cannot come from something or someone outside of you. It cannot come from your relationships. It cannot come from the regard other people have for you. Because the moment you hand those keys over to the world, you also hand over control of your life. Anyone gains the power to bring you down with a single word, a glance, or silence. And here's the cruel trap. No matter how hard you try, it is impossible to please everyone. That is simply a fact of life. Not even the people who love you will always agree with your ideas, your choices, or your words. If you spend your entire life trying to earn everyone's approval, you will die exhausted and still feel empty, because that is a race no one ever wins. You will reshape yourself, bend yourself, erase yourself, and even then, there will still be people who do not like you. So why keep placing your worth in the hands of people who will never be able to give it back to you whole? So grow, truly grow. What other people think about you is simply not the most important thing. It is not your foundation. It is not your measure. It is not your judge. Stop waiting for someone else to give you permission to feel capable. Build your own sense of worth with your own hands. Give your best in everything you do. Play every role in your life as well as you possibly can, not to collect applause, but because that is the kind of person you have decided to become. When your standards come from within, other people's opinions lose their power over you. And for the first time, you feel truly free. Because this is what no one tells you about genuine happiness. It is not found in the next achievement, the next compliment, or the next moment of validation. It appears when your actions align with your true nature, when you recognize what is authentically yours and begin living from that place. When what you do on the outside matches who you are on the inside, the conflict ends. You stop fighting yourself and start standing on your own. You become the source of your own confidence, and no one, absolutely no one, has the power to switch that on or off for you. Ralph Waldo Emerson left us with a statement that has stood the test of time and is still just as true today. What you are speaks so loudly that I cannot hear what you say. Think about the weight of those words. You can speak beautifully, make promises, and sell yourself with words. But who you truly are speaks louder than any speech ever could. And that is exactly why identity is not something you announce. It is something you build. It is not found in what you say you are. It is found in what you do when no one is watching, when no one is holding you accountable, when there is no audience and no reward other than knowing you stayed true to yourself. And when there is consistency between what you believe and how you live, your greatest strength is born, integrity. Without it, a person lives divided inside, saying one thing and doing another, and that silent contradiction poisons everything: your peace, your decisions, your relationships, even your sleep. But the person who aligns words with actions stops wasting energy maintaining appearances and begins living as a whole person, solid, unwavering. That is the kind of person who cannot be shaken, because there are no cracks through which the world can enter and tear them down. So starting today, make the most important exchange of your life. Stop asking, what do I need to achieve before I finally feel like I matter? And start asking, who do I choose to become no matter what happens? Build that person every single day, through the small choices, far from the spotlight, without waiting for anyone to notice, because other people's applause comes and goes like the wind, but the worth that comes from within can never be taken away. And when your worth truly belongs to you, you become unshakable. 7. Live for something bigger than yourself. Take action. We have reached the principle that supports all the others, because it does not matter how well you understand everything you have learned, if, at the end of the day, you never turn understanding into action. Knowing what needs to be done is only the beginning. It is action that builds an unshakable person, and action begins with one simple and powerful decision: stop wasting energy on what you cannot control and invest everything you have into what is already in your hands. Think of your life as a giant jigsaw puzzle. Most people lose their peace, trying to force pieces into places where they do not belong, fighting battles over things that were never theirs to control. A strong person does the opposite. They look at the puzzle with clarity and ask, what here is within my control? And then they act on it with everything they have, because there is always something within your control. always. Notice how that changes everything. Sometimes you may not get to choose where you live, but you can transform that place into a refuge of order and care, no matter how small it is. You may not own the finest clothes, but every day you can choose to wear confidence, respect, and kindness, and that is something money cannot buy. It can only be chosen. You may be facing the illness of someone you love, unable to change the diagnosis, but fully able to offer your presence, your support, and your love. You may have started a business with very little money, yet still provide a level of service and quality that no amount of money can replace. You may have only a few simple ingredients in your kitchen and still cook with dedication and creativity. You may not control everything at work, but your attitude and your commitment belong entirely to you. In every situation, under every circumstance, no matter how difficult it may seem, there is always an opening where your attitude can step in and make a difference. And this is exactly where your freedom lives. The moment you stop waiting for circumstances to improve and start acting on what is already within your reach, adversity loses its power to keep you frozen. Of course, that takes courage. Making firm decisions is never easy, especially when they pull you out of your comfort zone. It is like speaking in public for the first time or changing careers when everyone tells you to stay where you are. Your heart races, fear gets louder, and indecision tries to convince you to turn back. But it is precisely by walking through those moments that you become stronger. Every time you act despite fear, instead of letting fear act for you, you lay another brick in something powerful within yourself. The Stoics had a name for this, the inner citadel. Imagine a fortress built at the very center of who you are, raised brick by brick through your values, your choices, and every courageous action you have ever taken. When the storms of life become fierce, and they will, financial hardships, loss, disappointment, it is that fortress that keeps you standing. Inside it, your decisions remain steady and faithful to your principles, no matter what is falling apart outside. That is the true definition of being unshakable. It is not that the storm never comes. It is that the storm cannot bring down someone who has built their own inner citadel. And here is the choice that determines the direction of an entire life. There are two kinds of people in this world, those who build and those who destroy. Some raise their values like pillars and defend them every single day. Others, piece by piece, weaken their own foundation and then wonder why everything collapsed. That choice is not made once. It is made every single day, through every small action, and it is always in your hands. So, if you have stayed with me until this point, let this be your turning point. You have learned these 7 principles, but knowledge alone is not enough. Start today with one single action. Focus on what is within your reach and act on it with determination. Do it again tomorrow, and then again the next day. Because that is how an inner citadel is built, one action at a time, until no storm can tear it down. Life will not stop testing you, that much is certain. But from this day forward, it will find someone standing tall, grounded in their own values, ready for whatever comes next. Someone who is, at last, unshakable. Here, modern hearts drink from the ancient source of serenity. This is the Stoic House. If this message resonated with you, leave a like, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe. I'll see you soon.